Today we're going to talk about adding a column to an existing table in SQL Server. This comes up every now and then where you have a table and you need to add a column or two. And so this is the syntax. It's actually a very easy script to use, so we'll get right into it since this shouldn't take us long at all. But let's suppose that we have, we have a table and we're going to call our table add to it, and in our table we have one field. So if we wanted to add a column to our table, we would start out, one second, let's just verify. I like to show before and afters just as proof. As you can see, we just have an ID field. So let's add to our table. Let's add another column, let's add a table, or let's add a column called the name, and we want it to be a varchar. So we're going to alter the table. The command is alter table, the table name. We're going to add, and we're going to add the column name, which would be name, and we want the name to be a varchar of 250. And let's look at our table, and you'll see now we have ID and name. And just to prove that, we could do email address. And we could alter the table again and look at it. And we have ID and name and email address. Okay, so if we have an existing table, we can roll out those changes. Keep in mind, this is handy, and this is where scripting is really awesome. So let's suppose you have to alter a table and add a column, and you have 100 servers, 100 databases, and 100 servers. Well, there you go. I mean, you want to save your scripts, and then you can, for instance, you could execute it in PowerShell, but basically you would script out these changes. Let's suppose that you create tables from time to time, and let's say these are audit tables. This is a good example of where our columns get added. And these are just tables that you have on various servers for auditing things. And so you, from time to time, just need to add a column to a table, and you don't want to go through this long process, okay? Well, another way that you can go about doing that, and I have one of these myself because I do a lot of auditing just to make sure that people aren't adding values to tables that they shouldn't be. But sometimes I'll forget to add like notes or something to the table. And so I have a procedure that I can call, and we're going to call this add columns. And we are going to do a table varchar 250, and we're going to do details 1,000. And again, this is not something that you have to do whatsoever. This is just an easy way to do this per server. But it's something that you don't have to remember the syntax. This kind of makes it very, very easy. Declare SQL, varchar max. And you can look at previous videos because I've used dynamic SQL quite a bit. So this is just another example of where dynamic SQL can be used. So we're just going to take the command from above and the syntax, I mean. We're going to take the syntax from above, the alter table statement, and we are going to put that in our dynamic SQL statement. So now all we have to do is pass in scroll down, and I'll do something really bizarre just to show this. We just have to pass in the table name, which was add to it, and then whatever we want the details to be. Let's say we wanted to add a column Durka, and we wanted the column to be a decimal 5,2. Okay, now let's go back and look at our table. And now we have ID, name, email address, and Durka. So, as you can see, it's actually a very simple thing to do. Like, you could just use this script, and when it comes to scripting multiple environments, use a script like this. If you have audit tables and it may be a 1 or 2 time add, this can be kind of convenient because you don't have to remember the syntax. You can just put the table name and then whatever the column is going to be. But even if you have to remember the syntax, it's very simple. Alter table, table name, add, and then the details.